The Valiant Ones tells a simple story in as complex a way as possible. The government hires a crack spy master to assemble a team to take down a gang of pirates. He puts together a mini army to infiltrate the wuxia, a network of Japanese pirates and Chinese brigands deeply ingrained in the local governments of both countries. Despite the grumbling of some ministers, master strategist Yu Dao is chosen to lead a small band of spies to infiltrate the pirates' lair. The army has already tried to crush the pirates with brute force and has failed, so subterfuge is key. Their wiles get enemy agents to kill each other with friendly fire and overcome lookout bandits on the road who try and fail at their own sneak attacks, posing as a roadside wine stand and then as robbery victims, but immediately sniffed out by the superior intellects. From beginning to end, the government, aside from one incorruptible minister, is suspicious of Yu Dao's methods and fails to see the progress when it's being made. He's smarter than his enemies and too smart for his superiors. The movie's most exciting characters are a husband and wife couple, a fierce swordsman called Whirlwind, and a Miao beauty who barely speaks. The Miao, who actually did fight on the side of China to fight the Wokou, are famous for their beautiful women with long, luxurious hair and exquisite outfits. The couple is introduced calmly playing Go, or Wei Qi in Chinese, at the spy's camp on a beautiful collapsible Go board, which they carry with them on their deadly mission, as you do. The game about outflanking your opponent is emblematic of the whole plot. At one point, surrounded by an overwhelming force of enemy fighters, the team silently uses the board to sketch out their relative positions. They will move outside the enemy force and turn the besiegers into the besieged. No question about how they'll physically accomplish this, simply a statement of the tactic, and it works. A lot of reviews of King Hu point out the ellipses in his editing. Someone leaps, and we see them land. The length of the leap, normally the wow factor in wuxia films and wire work, is cut entirely. This is not a Chor Yuen-directed magical fantasy. A commander calls for archers to shoot down the hero. Cut to the archers, who are already dead on the roof. We don't see the gory impalements. This is not a Chang Che-directed theater of blood. Sammo Hung does the fight choreography and plays the head Japanese pirate, but this is not a typical Sammo Hung display of physical prowess. Hu tightens Hung's choreography through manic edits, and the effect is electric, partly because the geography of each fight is perfectly clear, something overlooked by a lot of modern action cuts. What this movie is movie magic at its height. The Whirlwind can circle his enemies so fast because there's a body double stepping in as soon as actor Bai Ying is out of frame, making him move twice as fast as humanly possible and without the cheesy undercranking that mars a lot of wuxia films. Hu tricks his audience just as Yu Dao tricks his enemies. While going undercover and disguised identity are themes throughout Hu's movies, right up to his final film, the wuxia fairy tale Painted Skin, deception as the key to military success takes center stage in two of his finest works, The Valiant Ones and A Touch of Zen. The two films offer opposite views on strategy. A Touch of Zen shows the strain between the film's hero, a creepy intellectual who rejoices in the bloody slaughter of his enemies by stratagem, and the mother of his child, an unearthly killer who rises above such worldly strife to seek release from the wheel of life. The Valiant Ones appears to celebrate the tricksy, guerrilla-fighting triumphs of its clever, stalwart heroes. But in the end, though their devices succeed in bringing down the Wokou pirates, Yu Dao is ultimately brought down himself by less glamorous, worldly schemers. His success survives in this posthumous celebration some 400 years later by King Hu. Understandably, King Hu insists on the historical truth of his tale. The original title is Portraits of Valor, and it opens with literal portraits of the history behind the story, paintings of Japanese warlord Hakatatsu, Wokou leader Su Dong, and minister Tsu Wan, the famous painting's departure herald and return clearing from the Palace Museum, historic scrolls. These things all happen. In everything, The Valiant Ones is history as art, using the true events to make us believe in the movie magic, and using movie magic to make us believe in the fantasy. I can't end this without mentioning the importance of restoration. The Valiant Ones is a lesser-known film in the King Hu canon, partly because it had been lost until 1996. In 2021, the Hong Kong Film Archives brought the print close to its original glory, and it shows. Images of the water, hills, and rocky landscapes sparkle. Hu uses on-location shots expertly, fooling us into thinking this adventure takes place on a grand scale, though in fact it's all shot in Hong Kong. He's clearly thriving outside the Shaw Brothers system with their limited landscapes and reused sets, as much as I love those. The restoration of a lot of Hu's work, as well as other Chinese classics, was personally funded by his muse, Su Feng, and the difference in prints is remarkable. Su Feng, as young as she was, a teenager when she first acted for Hu, had a real eye for great movies, awakened, she said, by a touch of Zen. Once she retired from acting, she went on to produce a number of art house classics, including the legendary Farewell My Concubine. Asian cinema fans are living right now in a wonderful time of restorations and remastering, bringing scratchily preserved and obscure films back to life. I am grateful to be here right now.